Hey everyone, this is Imran from Gaming Till Disconnected, and I'm back with another review. So this is the Hauppauge HD PVR Rocket, a simple lightweight portable game capture device that doesn't need a computer unlike its predecessors. With the price tag ranging from £115 to £130, the Hauppauge HD PVR Rocket includes everything you need to get started capturing gameplay footage. Measuring at a length of 120mm, a width of 89mm, and a height of 38mm. If you compare the Rocket to the original HD PVR Gaming Edition, the HD PVR Rocket is tiny. Well, kind of. Featuring a matte black plastic outer shell with a thin frosted grey trim around the sides, spanning almost all the way around. The trim lights up in 5 different ways to show the current status of the device. Blinking blue for no input video, blinking red for no thumb drive, blinking green for when the input signal is encrypted, solid green for when the HD PVR Rocket is ready to record, and solid red for when the HD PVR Rocket is recording. It also blinks a combination of colours for a combination of errors. At the back you'll find most of the I/O ports, including a HDMI in, a HDMI out, a port for the AV adapter, and a USB port to power the HD PVR and transfer data when it's connected to a PC. The two remaining ports, a mic socket and a USB port for storage, can be located at the front. There are ventilation holes at the back and the underside of the rocket. Also on the underside you'll find rubber feet that suspend the HD PVR Rocket a few millimeters from the chosen surface. The rubber feet also stop it from moving about to a certain extent, but because the rocket is so light, it can sometimes be hoisted by the cables. At the top next to the microphone mixer you'll find the most prominent feature of the rocket, a simple inviting red button to start and stop the recording. The microphone mixer lets you increase the microphone volume by an additional 20 decibels, as well as locking and muting the mic. As I said at the start, Hauppauge provides you with everything you need to get started. In the box you get a 2-meter HDMI cable to connect the HD PVR to a monitor, a component cable to connect to a PS3, an AV adapter to connect the component cable to the rocket, and a USB-Y cable to draw power from the rocket from a console, or transfer data and draw power when it's connected to a PC. The only thing you'll need is a USB stick or an external drive to use the Rocket as a standalone device, and another HDMI cable if you're going to connect the Rocket to an Xbox 360 or any other HDMI sources without HDCP. The entire setup of the Rocket is very straightforward. It's a simple plug and play function when it's being used as a standalone device. When it's connected to a PC, it's still simple. You just need to factor in the capabilities of your PC and the minimum system requirements needed to run the HD PVR. And you'll also need to download the Hauppauge capture software. Compared to the HD PVR Gaming Edition, the HD PVR Rocket leaves a very small footprint. Apart from being smaller, it requires fewer cables, and not needing a computer is very appealing. However, when connecting a PS3, I found it a bit annoying, only because I had to use the component cable and the AV adapter due to the PS3's enforcement of HDCP, which just made everything look a bit messy in my opinion, but this is not a fault of Hauppauge. The ability to add a mic to the Rocket is a great feature, as it allows you to add live commentary to your gameplay footage. But I found the biggest drawback to this feature is you can't adjust the game volume and the mic volume independently, without having to connect the HD PVR Rocket to a PC. There is a button to boost the mic an additional 20 decibels, but in my experience I didn't find this feature too helpful, as I personally couldn't get the perfect balance between the game and the mic audio. The mic input allows for a 3.5mm stereo jack. The best mic for this would probably be a lapel mic. You could use the mic from your headsets, but chances are you're going to be wearing them awkwardly, as wearing them normally may mean the game audio from your TV is muffled by the ear cups. I think a headphone port would have been a great addition to the HD PVR Rocket, so you can use a pair of headsets like the Logitech G230, so you can use the mic and get feedback from the games. Although you can only use microphones with 3.5mm jacks, you could use an adapter as a workaround for a better mic. I was hoping that when I connected the Hauppauge HD PVR Rocket to my PC that the software would allow me to use USB mics like the Blue Yeti, but unfortunately it would only allow mics connected to the HD PVR Rocket. But hopefully this will get fixed in a future update. When I say this is a simple plug and play device, I really mean it. After connecting the relevant cables, and the status indicator is green, you simply press the big red button and you're recording. The Hauppauge HD PVR Rocket can record up to 1080p at 30 frames per second, with a data rate of 1 to 18 megabits a second. The file sizes are quite manageable. For 15 minutes of captured footage at 1080, the file size will be about 2 GB. So for a decent hour's footage at 1080p, you'll need a minimum of 8 GB from your storage. As it's not obvious when the USB runs out of room, you'll need a decent sized USB stick for recording. Although the LED indicator blinks to signal it's run out of room, it's really easy to miss, especially when you're trying to get that perfect kill streak. But this can largely be avoided if you connect the Rocket to a PC, or use a large capacity external hard drive. I ended up connecting a 500GB external drive. This way I was able to record without worrying that I was going to run out of room. Just be aware when using an external drive, it must be self-powered and have a transfer rate of 2 megabytes a second. You should note that when capturing with a USB stick or an external drive, the Hauppauge HD PVR Rocket breaks footage into 2 GB files. For instance, if you've recorded 10 GB worth of footage, you'll be left with 5 2 GB files. This can be incredibly annoying as you're left with loads of files. This isn't so much an issue if you're capturing games like Call of Duty, where matches usually last about 10 minutes, but if you're capturing footage for Let's Play videos, this can get quite irritating. Thankfully the files were sequential, so it's not too much of a pain to stitch them up together in an editing suite. This predicament can be entirely avoided if you connect the HD PVR Rocket to a PC and use the Hauppauge Capture software. The software allows you to determine which audio and video settings the Rocket should use. As well as being able to adjust the volume for game audio and mic audio, you can set the output resolution and the frame rate, and determine the audio and video bitrate. You're also able to upload captured footage directly to YouTube, which some might find appealing. As the capture software formats the video files in .ts, you may have to export it to .mp4 if you want to be able to edit the footage, as not all editing suites allow you to edit in .ts. But if you're worried that you're going to have to export an entire 8 GB file just to use a few minutes worth of footage, don't worry too much. Hauppauge Capture has a simple editing feature to trim the footage so you can export the bits you need. I'm actually quite impressed by the Hauppauge HD PVR Rocket. As a standalone device, it's really easy to use, and when connected to a PC, it's just as easy. The software is also very simple and straightforward to use, and visually it doesn't look too bad either. I would have really liked the ability to use other mics when connected to a PC, as opposed to being limited to what I can plug into the HD PVR Rocket. I'm hoping something like this gets sorted out in a future release of the software. There are other game capture devices, and they're all great in their own right, but the biggest drawback is portability, and I think this is where the Hauppauge HD PVR Rocket really excels. So if portability is really important to you, maybe the Hauppauge HD PVR Rocket is worth a look. Thank you for checking out this review, I hope you liked it. If you did, please hit the like button, it really helps us out. Make sure you share this video if you think someone will find it useful, and if you want to see more reviews from us, then be sure to click that subscribe button. You can also click on these reviews to check them out. Also, before I go, if you want to help us out even more, be sure to check out our Patreon page, where you can find out more info. Once again, thanks for checking out this review and have a great day.